welcome back for another video in my Creating a Book of Shadows together. So we have done some stones, moving on to some plants for a minute, and today, why not talk about the apple? So some basic correspondences for an apple. The zodiac is Taurus and Capricorn, the element is water, the planet is Venus, the energy is feminine, the stones are rose quartz, amethyst, I never know if I'm going to say this one right. It looks like morganite and aquamarine, and the chakras are the root if it is red and heart if it is green. And I couldn't really find anything, but like I swear when I've gone to the store there are like more of like a yellow shade. So would that go for the corresponding one too? I don't know. But for the most part, all of them were associating for like red apples specifically. So like most of the places said root, but I found one or two that said heart for green specifically, so I don't know if anyone else has ideas on that. Let me know in the comments down below. The deities associated are going to be super fun to pronounce because I don't know most of them. So here we are, ready to butcher names. We have got, it looks like Eris, Panoma, Adun, Merlin, Talasian, unicorns, which I know is technically not a deity, but I didn't really have a spot in my like repertoire of things because most of them have not had magical creatures of sorts, so we're just putting it here. Same with the fae or the variations of the quote-unquote little people, the like nature spirits, house spirits, things like that. Aphrodite, Athena, Apollo, Venus, and Dionysus. To be perfectly honest, I do feel like there should be other ones listed, but I couldn't find a lot, and I don't know some of the other ones very well. But like, we didn't really have any for like the like Egyptian pantheon, for instance. So I don't know. Most of this was Greek and a little bit of Celtic. And then of course you can't not have a Dune because that's her thing. But yeah, so if you know of other deities as well, let me know. This is just what I could find. Honestly, finding anything for the apple was particularly challenging. Sometimes they're really easy to find stuff. Some of these are really difficult. Apple, ironically, despite how much we use it, is in fact not an easy one to find a lot of information on. The magical associations for the apple are divination, the underworld, eternal life, which honestly those two were kind of a fun like different sides of a coin because for like the Celts it was more of like that underworld, and then for like the Norse it's definitely like the eternal life and immortality thing of it, so that was fun. It's also linked for abundance, prosperity, healing, love, and creativity. For some spell suggestions, you can use apples in your Mabon celebrations to honor the harvest season, or if, like me, you're a little bit chaotic and you decide to honor a Dune at Ostara, it would also be a good time for that as well. You can use applewood as the base for your runes, ogham, or your wand. This one is a little difficult, but if you have the space in the land and everything, plant apple trees for prosperity. You can use apple blossoms in love spell bags. Burn an apple-scented candle for love spells. To ensure happiness in your relationship, cut an apple in half and share it with your loved one. You can also warm an apple in your hand. This is obviously going to really be pertinent if you keep them in your fridge, like a lot of people do, but warm the apple in your hand while visualizing consenting love before consuming it. So obviously if you're planning a love spell against somebody else, have their consent before you do it. And lastly, if you have a garden and want to increase the health of it magically, bury 13 apple leaves after harvesting your apples to ensure the health of your garden for the next year. Obviously, some of these are going to require you to have the land and like probably matured apples and like apple trees. So some of these are a little easier than others. Like if you don't have access to apple trees, like you're probably not going to find apple blossoms anywhere. Again, these are like a tree that a lot of people will grow. And so if you have the space, if you have the ability, there are just some of the magical things that you can do. And one last one that I wanted to mention is that if you wanted to, you could really easily make an apple pie or a different kind of apple dish and have that be kind of the central ingredient and then add other things to help with it. Like if you make like an apple pie, for instance, It is easily a great option for bringing in abundance and prosperity because both of them are associated, like apples and cinnamon, because those are like the two main ingredients. Both are associated with prosperity and abundance. So that's the fun of the plant magic, is you can combine them with different ones to make different magical things. I would love to know how you use magic with apples in the comments down below. If you do some of these things, if you do other things, if you have different associations, I would love to know. Again, this is one that was really difficult to find because like it is rare that I cannot use Cunningham for at least a little bit of background information, but he was like, nah, why would I have apples? That's just not a thing. So like this one was a lot of just like hunting and scouring the interwebs to find stuff. So I am very curious what you guys do. If you do a lot of kitchen magic and you're like a kitchen witch or a hedge witch or whatever, what do you do with your magic for apples? I would love to know in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.